very first time you met them, and Mason is one for me. We had just done strategic planning in our district and written a mission statement that really we don't just have on the wall. Our mission is to inspire and equip all students to acquire and apply knowledge and skills while pursuing their dreams and enriching the lives of others. So I went to Edgewood Middle School and I was talking about pursuing dreams and enriching the lives of others with our now superintendent, Dr. Hofford. And I got there about 5 minutes early, and it was probably one of the best 5 minutes early I've ever been because Mason was already there. And Mason was actually going through a really tough time that day. He'll maybe share about what was happening that very day that I met him. But even though he was going through a really tough time, just that 5-minute conversation enriched my life, changed my presentation, and has changed my life through our relationship. So Mason's dream is to be a motivational speaker, but I'm gonna counter that. Mason is a motivational speaker. It started as a dream, but in Warsaw, we've really been trying to be intentional to give him a lot of practice, and he has now spoken at our opening day in front of all of our entire staff. And he's spoken at Grace College, he's spoken at Franklin College graduation, and so I'm just inspired, and I just looked at what your agenda was, and I just reached out to Brenda. I said, it's last second, but I think Mason's heart will really speak to your work and inspire and equip you, and I think enrich your lives by the 15 minutes. So with that said, I'm going to turn it over to Mason, and I'm going to be your clicker woman.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, as she said, my name's Mason Metzger, and my mission is to inspire and equip all people, be a shining light to the world, and share my story with others. As I share my story with you today, I want you to think about how we are similar. So, I'm going to start off by telling you a little bit about myself. I'm a senior at WCHS. I'm 17 years old. I'm a Christ follower, and I was the winner of the 2015 Yes I Can Award through the Council of Exceptional Children. So now I would like to share my favorite Bible verse, which is Philippians 4:13, which says, "For I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength." And you're probably wondering, why is this verse important to me? This verse is important to me because no matter what obstacles or challenges I face throughout my life, I always know that God is behind me in everything that I do. So I'm going to talk about when I was born. So I was born 2 months premature on January 29th, 1999. And after delivery, I was not breathing, so they had to take me away from my mom and pump oxygen into me. And then I was placed in an incubator for 21 days. So at birth, I weighed 4 pounds, 6 ounces. But after leaving the hospital, after 21 days, I was only 3 pounds. And to demonstrate this, I want you to hold out your hand, because I could actually fit into my dad's palm. And due to the lack of oxygen to my brain, I was diagnosed with spastic cerebral palsy, which basically just means that my muscles are tight and my brain doesn't communicate to my legs like everyone else's. But that doesn't stop me from being who I am. So throughout my life, I have received both physical and occupational therapy. In physical therapy, we focus on my upper body strength, since that's what I rely on most. I use things like my stander, which stands me completely vertical to build bone density and to stretch my legs. I also use some standard gym equipment like the tricep pull down to build upper body strength. And I enjoy swimming because it moves all of my muscles, and I'll tell you a cool story about swimming in a minute. So basically, physical therapy just focuses on my gross motor skills. So here is a picture of me and my stander, and I like my stander because it gives me a different perspective on life instead of just sitting in my wheelchair all the time, because sometimes that can get boring. So in occupational therapy, we focus on my fine motor skills, such as eating and working with buttons and zippers. So the funny story I always like to tell about occupational therapy is when I was in about 4th grade, I didn't know how to eat with utensils yet. So they finally taught me because I didn't think it was funny to eat mashed potatoes with my hands anymore. And at first, when I was learning a new skill, I was very apprehensive. But as I've gotten older, I've realized why people pushed me so much and why it was so important. And without people pushing me to do my best and to learn new skills, I wouldn't be where I am today. So now I'm going to talk about things that I've had to overcome. So throughout my life, I've had to overcome many things, because sometimes even simple things like taking myself to the bathroom or getting something out of a kitchen cabinet can be a challenge. But what I found is that I can do most things. It may just take me a different way to get to the same place that everyone else does, and it may take a little bit longer, but I can get there. And then, as Mrs. Klein was talking about, another one of my biggest challenges was when my dad had testicular cancer. The only way I can think of describing it is like being in a storm. I was lost in the storm, but I finally found myself at a conference I went to last summer. But my dad is alive and well today after like 8 surgeries. But he's doing really good now. And what I want to tell you is everything happens for a reason, even if you may not understand why. So now, I want to talk about perseverance. And the question I want to ask you today is, what is your Mount Everest? What is the challenge that you're facing or someone you're helping is facing that seems impossible? But when I think of a challenge, I like to think of a mountain, because climbing a mountain is not easy. It takes preparation and teamwork to get up the mountain. And I think that's kind of how life is. We work together, and when we get to the tippy top of that mountain, we feel so accomplished. Like, oh my goodness, I just did that. I just learned a new thing, or I figured out a way to do that math problem, or something like that. So now I'm going to talk about things that I like to do. So I enjoy swimming because when I'm in the water, I feel free. Movements on land can be difficult, but when I'm in the water, I can use all my limbs. And something cool about the water is just because of the way it works, I can actually walk in the water. So that's really cool. I also enjoy shopping. I enjoy shopping more than most men should. My closet is probably bigger than my whole family's combined. I also enjoy drinking coffee. I like to say that Starbucks is my best friend. And I think that some of you would probably agree. So I also enjoy riding my hand cycle on the Nickel Plate Trail or in one on the lake. And on Wednesday night, I was actually able to go 6 miles on the Nickel Plate Trail, and it was just really cool because that's a personal record for me, and I was thinking about it. When I first started riding like a year and a half ago, it was a real challenge to even go a mile. But as I've built upper body strength and endurance, I'm able to go farther every time, and I think that's kind of how life is. So now I'm going to talk about water skiing. So I water ski with a day camp called Camp Whack. They're based out of Lafayette, Indiana, but they come to Warsaw for a day. And if you've ever gone tubing, it's similar to that, but basically, as you can see, you just sit in the cage thing, and then you get pulled around by a ski boat, and then you have jet skis on both sides of you that follow you in case you were to fall off. But it's just really cool because I got to see people with disabilities like me go skiing, which is something that you wouldn't expect, but it's just really cool. I have also snow skied at a place called Challenge Mountain in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and it's similar to water skiing, but basically you have snow skis, and then you sit in that thing as you can see, and then you have a snowmobile pull you up to the top, and then you ski down with an instructor. And when you first start out, they're right behind you, but as you learn how to do it, then they give you more control. And in order to ski down the mountain, you shift your body weight from side to side, and then your instructor is behind you on tethers following you. So that's just another experience where I saw people like me go skiing, and that was really cool. So this summer, I attended the MOVE conference, and I'm very excited to announce that I'm going there again this summer. It was a pivotal time in my life, and we studied the book of Daniel. And my favorite thing that the speaker said was, Daniel stood when others bowed. And I think that people bow down to things of this world and they don't think that they can stand for what they believe in. But I just want to encourage you guys to stand for what you believe in, stay strong in your faith, and yeah. So I'm also part of an amazing organization called My Team Triumph. I have completed 2 triathlons and 1 5K with this organization. I'm actually scheduled next Saturday to do a 10K. So this will be my first one. And I love doing triathlons and athletic events because I love the concept of a team working together to achieve a goal. Because without my different teams throughout my life, I would not be where I am today. And I am thankful for all that they have taught me. So, what I want you to know about a person with a disability. I get the question a lot, what advice do I have when meeting someone with a disability or passing them as they roll by? My advice is that we're normal. And instead of calling a disability, I like to call it a specialized challenge. Because we all have challenges, but everyone's challenges are different. We're just like everyone else. We're not aliens. We come in peace. Okay, so in conclusion, patience is key. I want to tell you that whatever you're doing, whatever you're trying to teach someone, it's important to be patient because some people might not understand concepts as fast as others, but I want you to be encouraged and to stay patient and know that whoever you're teaching will get the concept, but sometimes it may just take extra effort. And I want to encourage not only you, but the people you're teaching to lean into your challenges and encourage the people you're teaching to also lean into their challenges because challenges make you stronger. And it's all about working as a team because if you work as a team, you'll get to that mountaintop together. And if you have a positive attitude when you're teaching someone, they're more likely to imitate your behavior. And each one of you has gifts, talents, and skills that you can use to make a difference. So I want to encourage you to be difference makers. And I think most of you probably know what you're good at, but if you haven't found where you fit in, I really want to encourage you to seek that out. And I want to tell you in closing to be passionate about teaching and about learning, because if you're passionate, then the people you're teaching will probably have that same passion, and you'll probably help them figure out what they're passionate about. So I want to thank you for listening to me today, and thank you for bearing with me through the technical difficulty. But hey, we still got it done, and you still get to watch it. So, I have a Twitter account if you would like to follow me on Twitter at Mason_Metzger. Thank you. Have a great day.